Hey there, it's Seb Fry here with another exciting episode of Seb Fry TV, and today I want to talk about material facts, right? Material facts, at least as regards to real estate, are anything that has to do with the desirability or usability or enjoyability or safety of a property, right? So anything that significantly or substantially impacts any of those aspects of a property. Obviously, that's pretty broad, right? So there's lots of things which materially might affect, the value or safety or whatever of a property. For example, if you get water in your crawl space, right, I would say that's a material fact, definitely needs to be disclosed, right? The reason I bring this up is because I recently closed escrow representing the buyer of a property in Santa Cruz. And in the home inspection process, the buyer noted and pointed out to the home inspector there was like a dip in front of one of the bedroom doors. And so the home inspector said, nothing to worry about there. Very typical. Homes settle over time and this kind of stuff. It's very typical. I don't see anything structural going on here that you need to be really concerned about, right? So, very well and good. That is true. Very, very true. Most houses, even brand new houses, will have some kind of imperfection or irregularity in the flooring somewhere, right? It's very common. And so we close escrow. Buyer's moving his stuff in, and then all of a sudden he notes that actually it's more than just right in front of the floor. It actually extends several feet into the bedroom. And the buyer is going gee, shouldn't the seller have disclosed this to me? Well, that's a very good question. So is that unevenness in the flooring, which is several feet long, is that a material fact that substantially or significantly affects the value, desirability, usability, or safety of the property? Well, that's a very good question, and I suspect that the answer to that will depend on the buyer. If you're buying a property and then you find out that this is an issue and it's going to cost you maybe $400 or $500 to repair, is that significant to you? I would say that probably is significant to you, but in the eyes of a judge, right, or a jury or a mediator, would that be significant to them? It's really hard to say. So a seller, they are required to disclose material facts to you, but is something like that, is that a material fact or not, right? So I would say that to many sellers, they would probably say that's not a material fact because it's very common and does not in fact affect, the safety or desirability of the property. It's just, one of those things, right? And so to the seller, it could have been such a minor item that they didn't even occur to them. Maybe they knew about it, but they didn't even think about it because for them, it's so minor. Are you required to disclose every scratch and scrape and pinhole in your wall, right? All of those are defects, right? But when you're filling out the form, the disclosure form, it does say note any defects, right? Except at the top of the form, it does say you need to disclose items which are significant or substantial, right? Material items, right? So does that rise to the level of material that has to be disclosed, and is there any liability for the seller there? I would say, whether it's material or not, it still is a potential liability for the seller because, if you get a buyer that's very upset about that, the buyer could go after you after close of escrow and just say, hey, I want you to fix this, right? So what's the solution? The solution is to be very, very thorough when you're filling out those disclosure forms to avoid situations like this. Now, it's very unusual for a buyer when they're reading through those forms, if they see something like uneven flooring, are they going to go oh, I'm not going to buy this house because there's uneven flooring? No, what they're going to do is they're going to observe it, and they're going to say, this isn't really very much to be worried about. I'll get a flooring guy out here to have a look and, I'll figure it out. And then they'll adjust to their offer accordingly. Maybe they'll ask for a repair or a credit or offer just slightly less. Or they'll probably just say, what, not a big issue. I'm just going to pay whatever I'm going to pay for the property and we'll all be happy. So just as a seller, know that you really should disclose everything, whether it's a material fact or is it not a material fact. Here's a good rule of thumb. If it even occurs to you, hey, is this something that I should disclose? The answer is yes, you should definitely disclose it. Just put it on your form and make sure that the buyer knows about it because it may be a molehill, but a buyer is going to make a mountain out of it if they discover it on their own without you telling them about it first, right? So just go ahead, be very, very thorough. Is it material? Is it immaterial? Hard to say. If it occurs to you, if you even ask the question, the answer is yes. you should disclose it. Now, in this particular case, my buyer is, very lucky, I would say, that I'm his realtor, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to repair that for him. I told him, I said, hey, listen, if this is really a problem for you, I want you to be very happy both with the home and with the level of service that you're getting from your realtor. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pay for that if you feel that, it's really going to affect your, enjoyment of the property. I'm just going to take care of that for you, because I care about my clients. I really want to make sure that they are very well taken care of. Hey, if you know anybody who's thinking about buying or selling a house and you want to make sure that they are very well taken care of as well, you should know that I love referrals. If anybody who's referred to me, and this client, by the way, was referred to me as well, just know that I will take very good care of them and go out of my way to make sure that they have an absolute awesome home buying experience. So I would really appreciate it if you would keep me in mind for any referrals. And also, do me a favor, would you please share this video with everyone that you know, like, and trust, your friends, family, colleagues, parishioners, whatever, anybody that you know who is thinking about buying or selling real estate. I would certainly appreciate it. And of course, give me a like, a thumbs up, a share, a comment, anything like that out there in the social media world to let me know that someone is actually watching this. That would be fantastic. All right, that is it for this episode of Subpride TV. Stay tuned. I will have another episode up again before too long.